Greetings. Tonight, we're going to be talking about the initiation of Noah. And first of all, I want to send a big shout out to Valley of the Kings number 369 or 360, if I'm not mistaken, out of Louisiana, New Orleans. Definitely want to send you a big shout out, Brother Christopher, to all the brothers out of New Orleans. I just want to send you a big shout out, and I want to say thank you and I appreciate you. Once again, that is the Valley of the Kings. That lodge is chartered up under the Most Worshipful John G. Jones Grand Lodge of California. So big shout out to you, Valley of the Kings. And you know what? If we can ever be of any service to you, we know there's a distance, but we got you. Also, big shout out to True Kinsman Lodge number 1 out of Las Vegas, Nevada. Big shout out to you and to the Wishful Master there. We had a great time last weekend there in Vegas as we was there to give that particular lodge its dispensation. So definitely big shout out to everybody who's coming on tonight. So we're going to be talking about a few things tonight. And one in particular, we're going to be talking about the initiation of Noah. And some of you may be wondering, what are you talking about when you say the initiation of Noah? Well, as I continue to read, as I continue on this journey we call Freemasonry, everything in Freemasonry deals symbolically and to teach valuable lessons to its members. So tonight we're going to be talking about Noah and his initiation and what the ark really mean in its aspect. And I would say to anybody, the things I say, I would like for you to go back and research them for yourself to see if I'm on the right track, or was I far off to the left or far off to the right, or was I in the middle of the road? So iron sharpens iron, and I definitely want you to take a picture of that and really go look at Noah and in that ark. You who have been initiated, passed, and raised, especially you master masons, you should know definitely what the ark means to us who are masons, and how it plays a part in your life. And we're going to compare that to Noah and the ark and what it means. And I just want you to think about this. In all of the writings that has been written in regards to Noah and the ark, they never refer to it as a boat. Always an ark. Always an ark. So we're going to take a look at that. And what does it mean how does that relate to the ark to be shown as a zodiac sign, or what does that mean? So we're going to take a look at some things that's going to be pretty interesting, and I'm just going to point out some things in regards to that and what it means in regards to that. So please join us tonight. Join me tonight as we go about this show. And I'm going to tell you, for those who like good books and to read great books, definitely I'm going to share this book with you, and it was shared with me. And this book right here is one that I'm into right now. This book is How to Understand Your Bible, a philosopher interpretation of obscure and puzzling passages. This is by Manly P. Hall. It's a good read. I mean, if you're really into the into finding out what does some of the passages in the Bible means, that's a good book to have. And I would tell you this: once you get that book, it's going to take you to another book, and your learning never stops. It always takes you somewhere else. And this is the joy in regards to being a Mason, that in your journey you're always going somewhere. It's a never-ending journey. So don't think just because you may know signs, words, the lingo of being a Mason, that's your journey. That is just the icing on the cake. That is just crumbs. But when you really get into Freemasonry, there is so much more. There is just, I'm telling you, it is just amazing of how Masonry in its symbolism and what it means is involved with our daily work and our daily life. And is when most of us we don't really pay attention because we take it for granted. So tonight we're going to talk about the initiation of Moses. So just come on in as we begin to look at Genesis, that chapter, the inclusiveness of Genesis and what it means to atoms and how that tie into what you would call an initiation. I just want you to take some comparison, being that Noah was in the ark for 40 days and 40 nights, and Christ fasted for 40 days and 40 nights. And where is that similarity found? And why does that, what is so special about that? Because if you don't quite understand the similarities, you must know that Christ went through an initiation process in order for him to become an high priest on the side of Melchizedek. Okay? He had not quite arrived yet. So he had to go through an initiation process. And at the end of his initiation, you will find that he was tempted. And upon being tempted, he was said that he can have everything that he wanted, that he thought of, everything was given to him on this rock if he would just kneel and give in to Satan. And what is Satan? Satan is no more than your ego. Oh, you didn't know that one. Oh, you thought that Satan was something that fell out of the sky or something that... No, Satan is your ego. That gets in your way of anything that you try to accomplish. Is your ego. That is the main thing that we fight against. That is that thing that is in our head that tell us, I can do a better job than him or her. You know, I'm better than them. I know I'm better. That may be true to a certain point. But your ego gets the best of us most of the time. But until we learn how to tame that ego and understand what it is that is in us, that is your battle. That is your battle. Your battle is within. This is why I often say, and you read for yourself, that the kingdom of heaven is within. And how do you think that Satan was able to go and have a conversation about God in regards to Job, telling, hey, you know what? I seen your boy Job. You need to let me go and handle him. And God said to Satan, to the ego, look, you could touch everything about him, but don't touch his soul. Why do you think that was so special? What's going on with that play? If God cannot stand evil before him, but he allows Satan to come before him, something ain't quite right with that. We need to do some extensive research and see why Satan was going to and fro, traveling between earth and heaven. Something, darkness can't stand light. I just need you to think a little bit. You free thinkers out there, those of you who are conscious and understand the process for symbolism and what it means, because Masonry indulges itself in symbolism, and a lot of us just don't want to go that route. Yes, I know it's late, and I want to thank everybody for coming on tonight. And before I go any further, let me just take a peek at who's all on tonight and just say thank you for coming on. Alex, I appreciate you. Corey, what's going on with you? Brendan Lewis, I thank you and I appreciate you, my brother. Robert, what's going on with you? I appreciate it. 357, what's going on? So I appreciate Jay. What's up, Jay? Okay, what's going on, JD? Brothers of the Craft, greetings. I appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. Light Traveler, what's going on? As we get into this initiation of Noah and see where it takes us, and how does that translate into Freemasonry, and as we proceed into this particular lecture, this conversation, whatever you want to call it, I just want you to go back and kind of take a look at it for yourself and see where it takes you. So we're going to look at the 6th and 9th chapter of Genesis, inclusiveness. And we're devoted to the story of Noah and his ark. In order to understand this story, it is necessary to have a recourse in the early Jewish commentary, as Noah is the second Adam. So we're looking at this from a Jewish perspective, knowing that Noah is the second Adam. If you don't believe me, you can go and look this up for yourself. All right? Noah is represented as the second Adam. He became the foster father of the human family according to the Jewish metaphysical system. Also, Noah perceiving the just according to the will of God, and was a prototype of Christ. This is my comparison to the 40 days in the ark and the 40 days in fasting with Christ, because Noah was the prototype of Christ, of the first Christ. I know some of you are saying, what is his brother? He's kind of lost it tonight. Where is he going with this? You get this book, you'll see exactly where I'm going. And Brandon Lewis, I know you know exactly where I'm going with this, because as I was beginning to read this, I was like, oh, wow. Ooh, wee. It's just something to think about. It's just something to think about. We need to learn and read the Manu Netta. Oh, for sure. I will agree with that. Christ is a title, not a name. That is true. Who initiated Nimrod? That's a good title for a good show, but right now we're going to go ahead and deal with Noah. I'm sorry. We're going to deal with Noah. And we're going to deal with Moses too. That's another one I came across. So we're going to take a look at that. Let's see what Brandon Lewis just put up here. Deals with the battles within the beggar and Brandon Lewis, boy, I tell you, you keep me on my toes. Yeah, you definitely keep me on my toes. So when we take a picture of the ark, okay, the ark is a miniature. The ark is a picture or a prototype of the universe. And let me tell you why the ark is that. Because if you hold true to what the story says, or to the legend, or whatever you want to call it, the ark had everything in it. It contained everything. Every seed, every animal, every creature that walked the face of the earth was on the ark. And it represented a microcosm of the universe, because the universe has everything in it. This planet we call Earth, this rock is a microcosm of the big picture. Just like the ark was a microcosm. It had everything in it. And as the rain begins to fall upon the planet, or even rise from above, okay? As the rain begins to fall upon the planet, or even rise from above, so as above, so below, the ark begins to take float. It begins to rise up, right? And as it begins to rise up, it is just like the earth that was covered with water. And the only thing upon this earth at this time, according to the story, was the ark. And just like now, the earth itself is a microcosm of the ark in the universe, that contains all of life that we know it to be as far as human beings are concerned. And that is something very interesting that I found. Let me see what I got here. We must differ needs to study. Oh yeah. The ark can represent the womb too. It certainly can. Greetings to everybody who's about to come on tonight. So we're talking about the initiation of Noah. And like I said, if you would take a look at the 6th and 9th chapter of Genesis inclusive, you will find the story of Noah and his ark. In order to understand this story, it is necessary that we have a recourse in the early Jewish commentary. You're not going to get this particular commentary out of the King James Version of the Bible. You must have a Jewish Bible in order to break this down a little bit better than what the King James Version of the Bible. And some of you may say, what, a Jewish version? Yes, there is a Jewish version, or the Bible has a Jewish version of the story of Noah in it, and it's differ a little bit. So please, if you can get that, you need to get that. So the ideal of a boat floating on the water was a poetic figure developed later by theologians. It is merely a symbol of spiritual world which survives, okay, the physical universe. Briefly, the Ark of Noah with 3 decks represents the 3 parts of divine spheres. Okay, the 3 decks of Noah, initiated, past, and raised, represented the 3 spheres. So you have, if you know anything about the heavenly spheres, man can only go so high. We can only go so low. This is why they often say, so above, so below. You know, so when you think about the three spirits of the ark, you must think also about being initiated, passed, and raised. You must think about that. So once again, if you want to call into the night show and have any conversation about this particular subject, please, you can give a call at 619-985-1184. We want to get you to think a little bit. We want you to look at things a little bit differently than you ever have. So tonight we're talking about the initiation of Noah in its contrast to Christ and his initiation, his going through the 40 days of fast, and Noah being in the ark for 40 days and 40 nights. Noah being the first Christ, or a mirror of the coming of Christ. Christ, which is a title which was already just told to me, not a name per se, but a title. Okay, so the key to the whole story is the symbol or the system of astronomy. The whole story to Noah is the key in symbolism to astronomy. I couldn't put that together at first until I started reading and finding out astrology is all through the Bible. The process is that if you remove the S-O-N and replace it with the S-U-N and look at it for what it is and understand the 12 disciples represents the 12 zodiacs, it takes you in a different direction. The process is how many of us want to do that. How many of us really want to go and indulge and remove the S-O-N and replace it with the S-U-N, and then understand that each of the disciples representing a zodiac sign. It'll take you someplace. Now the process is that you want to drop some crumbs along the way, because that rabbit hole goes deep. Now you got to figure out, do you want to travel that rabbit hole? Is that something you want to do? Because I tell you this, and I'm speaking from my own personal experience, once you know something, you can't erase what you know. You can't close your eyes and say you don't know it. You don't. The best thing for you to do is to share the information and let people decide for themselves. You don't try to force your information or knowledge upon anyone. Just share it and let them go do their own research and find out for themselves. A lot of y'all gasp in the dark. It is funny to watch. Oh my goodness. So, as we begin this journey, we're going to look at the ark. The ark being cannibalistic, the ark is a show of the zodiac. The great body contains all animals, all seeds of every living thing on the earth was in this ark. Okay? Now, the key to the whole system, as I said before, was astronomy. Okay? So you take a picture from that. In the cosmos, ovulation was given birth. So it was this 40 days and 40 nights process that it was going to be a new birth. Okay? So, but none of us really look at that like that, because in the womb of a woman, as she carries her child, okay, he or she is surrounded by water, floating there, growing there, moaning and groaning as the child begins to kick and weigh and gain weight in the mother's womb, and stomach begins to grow. Okay? This is the same process for Noah in his 40 days and 40 nights. His whole thing, as the earth became pregnant with water, the ark begins to take float. And as the ark begins to take float, it had everything that it needed in the ark in order for those who was on it to survive. Just as a child in the mother's womb has everything that he or she needs while he or she is going through the process of growth in the mother womb for those 9 months. Some say 10. Depends on if the child is ready to come or not. So as the process goes on, you will see the correlation even with Christ and his 40 days. Noah with the 3 decks, inner apprentice, fellow craft, masturbation, initiated, passed, and raised. He doesn't get raised until the ark stops. And it stops on a mountain, a very high peak. And there he sends out a dove to search for land. So this is why the ark in Freemasonry is important. It is one of your 9 emblems. Oh, you didn't see it from that point of view, right? You really didn't see it from that point of view. Just like the anchor, you anchor down that ark. It's in the ark of safety, but you're anchored down. See, Mount Moriah, where the ark is supposed to have landed, is your anchor. That is where it is stable. That is that solid foundation. But you don't see it that way. You didn't see that coming, did you? So this is the importance of really getting into Freemasonry, really giving it a different perspective, and seeing it from different angles, and enjoying the craft for what it is. Because a lot of us don't enjoy the craft. We're too busy doing some other stuff. I enjoy the craft. Just to share it with you tonight, for those of you just tuning in, tonight I had the opportunity to sit with Chief Innocent from Nigeria and break bread with him and the family from Nigeria. It was a learning experience. I sit at the table of a chief from Nigeria and listen to what he had to say. It was a blessing. I'm telling you, you don't even know. But more to come with that story later. So I definitely want to welcome my administrator on tonight, Larry Diamond. And I know it's late on the East Coast, but if you're there, I just want to let you know how much I appreciate you tuning in. And definitely do me a favor. Go ahead and hit the like button. I appreciate it. And we're gonna go on with the show tonight. Definitely gonna go on with the show tonight. And if you want to, what I'm looking at coming up soon, for those who would like to make a contribution to the show, we're going to have that set up. What we're going to do is start to give back to the various jurisdictions and to do what we're supposed to do as Mason. We don't want to just take your contributions and say thank you. We want to take them and give back to causes that's going to benefit us as a whole, not just one group of people, but us as a whole in its totality. So definitely hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's move on and find out this Noah's initiation process for which he's going through. Greetings, everybody, once again. Peace, righteous Allah, welcome aboard. Anthony, welcome aboard. The womb, Brother Lewis, you got me, bruh. So we're gonna go on and look at this from some other perspectives. Okay. So check this out. The 7 spheres, which make up the lower creation, are dissolved one by one and are absorbed back into the cosmos, the substance. The first to be absorbed is the earthly spheres, then the lunar, then the that is the solar, all right? And then it goes on and it talks about Jupiter, Saturn. As it explained in the Greek mythology, Saturn is the end. It eats all of his children. So go back and see what Saturn represents when we talk about that in the Greek mythology. That was very interesting to me. I was like, damn, the more I get into this and I'm reading, I'm like, some of the stuff I just don't like. But it makes for a good read. It really does. It makes for a good read. I'm not gonna kid. I'm not gonna kid you. I'm for real. Oh, really? All right, okay. I'm just reading a post down there, so that's why I was saying that. So the ark is therefore the zodiac which rides strictly upon the face of oblation. Zodiac, let me see, it says the ark is therefore the zodiac which rides strictly upon the face of ovulation, meaning that it was ready to give birth, or ovulation, that something was taking place, growth within the womb, and the earth was the womb that was going to give birth. And Noah had everything in that ark, everything. Just like I said before, just like a baby growing inside his mother that has everything that it needs to survive. Until something is introduced into its system that will cause chaos to that child once it is born. Drugs, smoking, whatever you want to call it, crack. Until that is introduced to that child, that is a perfect child. Until something dangerous is introduced to that child. And then the child comes out and there's a lot of chaos with that child. Just as it was with a Noah's Ark. As it landed upon Mount Moriah, which is your anchor. And the ark represents safety. It was safety for everyone. So, according to the ancients, according to the ancients, the universe is enclosed. Let me see. According to the ancients, the universe is that which is enclosed of everything. Okay, so we're just part of the microcosm of the universe. The universe is still giving birth. It is still growing. It is not being still. It's still, the universe still continues to move. This is why we call Freemasonry a progressive science. Anything that progresses doesn't stop moving. To progress, you must continue to move. And a lot of people can't get, they can't grab that fact that Freemasonry is a progressive science. It continues to grow. Freemasonry as we know it today is nothing like it was 100 years ago. Nothing like it was. And before that, it was nothing like it was. Freemasonry continues to grow, continues to change, so it will exist. If nothing changed, nothing grows, it would no longer exist. And this is the uniqueness of this great fraternal order of Freemasonry. It continues to exist. It continues to change. It will continue to grow. It will do that. 100 years from now, we'll probably be looking around wondering where the craft has gone. And it will still be there under a different name, under a different system, using the same symbols and allegories to teach its students of the mystery schools. It will still be there. But what we do with this thing, we add our own little flavor into it, and we just mess it all up. We do. All right? So, let's take a look at this here. According to the Talmud, that's Talmu, Noah took into the ark 365 kinds of reptiles. It says 32 major divisions in animals, as serpents and was symbols of the year. The 365 reptiles are the days, and the 32 major divisions of animals are the 32 parts of the wisdom described in the cannibal. These parts consist of 10 to 25. Let me see. These parts consist of 10 serpents in the 25 to 22 letters of the Hebrew alphabet. So I don't quite understand. I don't know the Hebrew alphabet. I'm not going to sit here and say, yeah, I know. I don't know. Brother House would be one that would know the Hebrew alphabet better than anybody that I personally know of. And some of you may know it better than me or anybody else. I don't know. But take a look at the 22 alphabets, and then you will find these paths that I'm talking about. You will find them. There are some fragments in the Noah's myth. You hear that? There are some fragments in the myth that is not very well known to the modern Bible scholar. Okay? According to one of these myths, there was an animal called Reem, or Reem, R-E-E-M. There was an animal called Reem, R-E-E-M, that was too large to get in the boat. The ark. I call it a boat, the ark. It was too large to get in the ark. This particular animal was too large to get into the ark. Now, mind you, the ark was built 3 stories, 3 levels. Okay? But this animal was too big to get on the ark. So what they did with this particular animal is they tied a cable tow to this animal. That's what it says. They say they tied, let me see, it goes on and says that Noah tied a rope to the animal and allowed it to swim behind the vessel. This large and diverse animal from the same source as the Hindu account of Vishnu, and assumed the form of the great fish and pulled the ark through the sea by a rope fastened to its back. I'm just sharing information with you. You can go look this up for yourself. And I was amazed at it. I was like, I didn't read that in the Bible. So I had to go to the Talmud, or Talmud, and find it out for myself. I was, and like I said, the Bible is full of symbolism. Remove the remove the S-O-N, replace it with the S-U-N, and put your 12 disciples in the place of the Zodiacs, and man, it would open your eyes up to something unreal. Oh, if you think I'm lying, you need to try it. Don't take my word for it. Just try it and see for yourself. You see, I need to join a lodge. Oh man, it's very interesting. All lodges don't do this. Let's just have some clarity. What I'm doing this evening, all lodges don't do. Okay, they don't get this deep. They don't go this route. This is something that the Research Lodge decided to do. And we talk about other issues too, but this is something that we are doing. We want to share information that we come across. And I want, like I said, I always give Brother Brandon Lewis a shout out because he shares so much information with me. There are other brothers also, and you know who you are. They share, Brother Michael White also shares a lot of information with me in regards to some things that I should take a look at. And I just say thank you. I appreciate it. And I go get books and I read, and I have those aha moments, so I share the information. Okay? Well, welcome aboard then, brother. Welcome aboard. So, as we begin to dissect this initiation process that Noah went through, which we don't usually look at Noah in an initiation, you know, that whole thing with building the ark and why he built the ark and everything that was on the ark Noah needed, just as a woman who bears a child, everything that she gives that child has, don't ask for nothing. So just as Noah was going through a storm, and the ark being was that thing that had everything in it, the mother who gives birth is the same thing. It is true. It was the same thing. Definitely the same thing. In my own personal opinion, from what I've been reading, that's the conclusion that I'm drawing. Okay? That's the conclusion I'm drawing. So check this out. In the Jewish metaphysics, it is taught that the superior principles reflect themselves into the mortal world, casting their shadows, as it were, into the substance of the deep. This is according to the Hermetic law of Anglos, which declares that those things which are below are like unto those things which are above. By the rule, the spirit nature of man reflects in his corporal structure, the body being the shadow of the soul. Every part of member of the body, every function and process takes place within it, bears witness to the cosmos law, eternal in the heavens, that is existence forever in the superior nature. So everything that is in me is in the cosmos. Everything that is in me is in the cosmos. Period. This is why the pharaohs and the kings, when they died, those who wrapped their bodies and placed them in these tombs, gave them food, gave them everything they would need upon their travel. This is why it is said that they traveled at night, and then they returned as the sun was beginning to rise. They returned back into the tomb because they was able to travel, from night until day. Okay, they was able to travel, and this is why they gave them gold, and they had everything they needed in these tombs. This is why the womb is like a tomb. Okay, it gives birth. When you pass away, you go back to the place you came from. You go back to darkness. You came out of it, you go back to it. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. The earth, you go back to everything. This is why your body has all of everything. The cosmos is here. It's true. Just trying to pile up a little bit, see where we at. Somebody you know, ask the elder at 245 Giants or Google. So let's take a look at this. It says it is rare, okay, that you can say that the ark represented the cannibalistic figure. When I say cannibalistic, I don't mean something that eats up everything. I mean something more esoteric that holds everything, okay? That's what it held everything in, all right? The Ark of Noah is a shadow of a show. Let me see, a shadow or show. It is to show to be a symbolic of the tomb of Christ, okay? Once again, Noah's Ark represented or was the symbolic aspect of the tomb of Christ, all right? The figure on Noah laying in the ark, his hands, if you can kind of picture this in the three levels of Noah's Ark, and how if you take and look at it, Noah laying in the temple with his hands across, and you will see the nails within his hands. But that's going to be for another day. I bet you brother Brandon Lewis can know exactly what I'm talking about, because he introduced me to this book and got me all like, oh, oh my goodness. Oh man. Okay. So it is the prototype of the Messiah. He also is the great figure of the Zohar, Zohar, sleeping. Okay. The night of cosmos rests. Okay. So just go and check this out for yourself. Like I said, you don't have to take my word for it. Just we just go and just look at it for what it is, because it's deep, and that's why I say, even when you look at the 40 days and 40 nights, you know that Jesus fasted 40 days and 40 nights in the wilderness, even tactically identifying Noah and Jesus as both the beginning person of perfection in the same principle. So both of them was going to be perfected in the end, in the outcome of their system. Okay? Because Noah, Adam, Noah, Adam, I would say that they represented something perfect. Okay? Something perfect. When you begin to take it from that point of view. And like I said again, if you remove S-O-N and replace it with S-U-N and look at those 12 disciples as zodiac signs, when you read your Bible, you're going to have an aha moment. You may be mad at some folks. Just saying. You can do this yourself. You don't have to take my word for it. Just do it. Somebody okay. All right. Man, I wanted to just join a lodge. You better know somebody for real. Oh, bruh. Travis, what's going on with you? Zohar, Z-O-H-A-R. Thank you. I appreciate that. Let's see what we got. The less you know, the more food you need for the goat. Y'all need to stop it. The less you know, the more food you're going to need for the goat. That may be true to a point, But I would say that if you're interested in joining a lodge, I know that there are brothers here that can help you join a lodge. All I ask of any brother on this page tonight, when someone is looking to become a Mason, Please, please teach them right. That's all I ask. Teach them right. Don't bullshit them. All right? Don't teach them right. Have them to respect other brothers and jurisdictions of the craft. That's all I'm asking. If you can't do that by that person need not to join your lodge or your jurisdiction. If you can't teach them right, and if you can't teach them to have respect for the next Mason, whether he be a part of your jurisdiction or not. That's just how I feel. All right? So the ark is a microcosm of the universe. That's how I want you to see the ark, as being a microcosm of the universe. Being a human body contains with its influences, I would say, you know. And when I say influences, that means that, as I went back to the beginning, I was talking about the ego. The ego is your Satan. So the devil made me do it. The devil didn't make you do nothing you hadn't already planned for, thought about. You just allowed your ego to come in and say, yeah, you can do it. This is why when you take a drink, you know, you go out and we partake. When we have too many of them, we become Braveheart. You know, we brave. You see that nice young lady over there, you wouldn't say nothing to her until you had about 2 or 3 drinks. Now you got that braveness in you. You got that ego building up. Now you walk a little straight. Why couldn't you do that beforehand? And don't tell me the devil made you do nothing that you didn't already want to do. You know? Because I would tell you this. When you are quiet, and you can try this, just don't say anything and listen. And tell me, what do you hear? And you can't tell me you don't hear nothing, because you hear all types of voices and things going on up here. This is heaven right here. Okay? It's right here. If you want to raise yourself or come up to that different level, you got to change some things. And some of us don't want to do that. We don't. We like where we at. See, some of you don't understand Jacob's ladder and how it begins to twirl around, that it represents the spinal fluid that runs down in between the spinal cord. Oh, you ain't ready for that one, are you? I'm letting you know this thing is deeper than what you may think, because most of us don't go no farther than, oh, I'm a master mason, and go through the jargon of speaking. You don't understand that this thing right here is connected to everything. And I can prove it to you simply, that have you ever been talking to someone, or you've been around someone, and when they leave, you say, man, he drained me. She drained me. Oh, I feel, whoo. We're connected. We're all energy. We're just walking around giving off energy. You know, women's walk around giving off pheromones. You know, it makes them like, you know, but this is for a whole nother subject. I need to get back on. I'm getting off subject. Hold on. Let me see. What's going on up in the chat room tonight? First of all, everybody that's on, I want to say thank you for tuning in tonight. I know it's late on the East Coast, and on the West Coast is about almost 9 o'clock thereabouts, or a little after. Whoa, it's about after 9, about 9:15. I just want to say thank you for tuning in tonight as we talk about the initiation of Noah and what the ark represents, and how we are just a microcosm in this thing we call life, and how Freemasonry plays a part. But most of us who are Mason don't even realize the part that it plays with us and in us, because it is not something that we talk about often. So tonight we're talking about the microcosm, and how everything is related to the next thing. And how you may think, and may you say, and I know most of us who go to church would tell you every day, the devil made me do it. The devil ain't made you do nothing you haven't already thought about doing. So stop lying on the devil. Look at yourself. If you want to see what Satan look like, go to the mirror. You want to see what God look like, go to the mirror. And you will see that which you are most afraid of. You will. You will see that which you are most afraid of if you go to the mirror. And here's another point I want you to really consider. When you are going through this journey, this thing we call life, we are so afraid of succeeding to when we fail, we walk away. Hear me what I said. I said some of us are so afraid of succeeding to when we fail, we walk away. We don't go back and try it again because we're afraid of success and what we can actually accomplish if we did it. It's true. It's true for me. It's true for a lot of us. We're so afraid of success because when we fail, we walk away. You don't want to go back and try it again. It's too hard. But then when you succeed because you kept trying over and over, regardless of how much you fail, you said, damn, I did it. I work in the medical field, and I'm going to share this with you. You walk around and you see doctors. Doctor, doctor, doctor. You don't know if that doctor made an A, a B, or a C on his test or her test. All you know is right now, they're a doctor. They're on level, on plumb with every other doctor. But you don't know what he took or what she took to get that passing grade, be it an A or B or a C. All you know is that that person is a doctor. That's it. They passed the test. It's just something I want you to think about. So good evening, everybody that's on right now. And we're talking about Noah's Ark. And we're talking about Noah and the initiation for which he had gone through in order to be raised. And there was an initiation. And I say that because Noah's Ark is built on 3 levels: inner apprentice, fellow crafter, master mason. And as he went through his initiation process, the room or the anti-room, which I would say was this thing we call earth. And when the earth was, when rain begins to come down and ascend from below, and it raised the ark up, that was the beginning process of the initiation. That was the beginning process. Just as a representative, I'm going to repeat myself because some of you missed it earlier, as a representative of Christ coming through the wilderness 40 days and 40 nights. Noah represented the first Christ, which is a title. Okay? And then the Messiah went through the process because everything was offered to him at the end of his initiation, at the end of his process. Everything was offered to him. And yes, I said at the end of his initiation, everything was offered to him. Everything. I'm just saying that's another topic. So look, I've been on here for a little while, and I got a few more minutes. So if you got questions you want to ask, we can go into that. If you want to call into the show, I got a few more minutes left. That number is 619-985-1184. And I will tell you this, my brothers of the craft. Oh, what's going on? Well, welcome aboard. You can find out a lot. No, oh yeah, you'll find out a lot is going on. With tonight's show, we're talking about the initiation of Noah, and that process for which he found himself in was the same process that Christ went through. Hello. Hey, hold on. You're calling for tonight's show? Oh, okay. Oh, all right. I appreciate it. All right, thanks. Somebody just told me my sound was out. Reading some of the comments like no sound, no sound. I couldn't tell you why it went out. Man, I don't even know what I've said when the sound went out. I see it now. No sound, no sound. He's buffering at us or laughing at us. Okay. Attentive ear. No sound for the last minute. I hope I'm back. Oh, okay, I see it. I'm back. All right. I appreciate everybody that was calling in. I really do. Thank you very much, letting me know that there was something going on. Jesus raised Lazarus to the third degree, but John baptized Jesus to a higher degree. Jesus, let me see, he said, Jesus raised Lazarus to the third degree, but John the Baptist baptized Jesus to a higher degree. That's interesting. That's interesting. All right. We're going to have to take a look at that one. We're going to have to take a look at that one. That was a good one right there. That was a good one. Let's see what else I want to share with you real quick. All right, I'll tell you this. If you look at the ark, I want you to see it from a physical universe and not a spiritual universe. But those things which are inside the ark are more spiritual than those things that on the outside of the ark. Just look at your body, this physicalness. But the thing that resides in us is more spiritual. And the ark is built in that same fashion. Somebody was saying that I seen no sound, but I would like to I like to take that a step further, because when you consider what the ark represented, I see that the King Solomon's temple represented the same thing. I see that the tomb of Christ represented the same thing. I see that anything with a tomb represents a womb. And I'll tell you, if you even take in consideration when you're going to the airport and let me see, it's when you're going through the airport, they say something is it'll come back to me. It'll come back to me. Oh shucks! I wanted to show you some examples of a couple of things, but I'm gonna definitely share with you the tomb, which represents the womb. So the mother's womb is just like a tomb. Just like pharaohs and the kings, they was buried in a tomb. Those things that give life, that gives birth, that's where they come from. You may say, well, how do you figure that? Well, just in consideration that within the womb, it's dark. And then that child is brought from darkness to light. All right? And given all of the rights, I got to rewind, because I was about to go somewhere else. I was about to go somewhere else on that. Scottish Rite? Is that what he was raised? When you say a higher degree, are you saying Scottish Rite, right? Okay. All right. No sound. We heard you doing the building of the temple, laughing. Oh, okay. King Solomon's temple is the Israel representation of the pyramid. That's interesting. Yes, just like Jonah in the belly of the whale for 3 days and 3 nights, and all of a sudden he comes and he's spit up on the seashore, just like Christ was in the tomb for 3 days and 3 nights, 40 days of fasting, just like Noah is in the tomb, but he has 40 days and 40 nights because of the storm and he was getting ready to give birth. We got to start looking at things from a different perspective, people. You really have to. You know, because as it is said, we fight not against flesh and blood, but principalities and spiritual that is in high and wicked places. I know I messed that up, but you know where you can find it at. You know exactly what I'm talking about, you know, and that's real. So look, I'm gonna go ahead and log off tonight. I just want to appreciate you coming on and getting this in, and I just want to say thank you. I appreciate everybody. What's up, Travis? Everybody that's coming on, Ruben. I appreciate everybody that tuned in tonight. Please, before I log off in a couple of more minutes, why don't you give your lodge a shout out, your jurisdiction a shout out, because that's very important. This platform, hey, if you got something you want to say and you want to come on this show, you're welcome to do that. Okay? Regardless of your jurisdiction, even if you're not a Mason, even if you're not an Eastern Star, if you want to come on and really have a good conversation, you're welcome to do so. I tell you what, come Tuesday, you got to tune into the show. If all goes well, I got a special guest coming on to the show. He is a member of PHA out of, I want to say, North Carolina. If I'm not mistaken, I wouldn't go no farther than that. And as a matter of fact, nope, I take that back. He's out of Atlanta, Georgia. He gonna say, Brother Hawkins, come on, man. Well, he spent some time in Kakalaki, but definitely, this brother here is a very knowledgeable brother. He's a member of Prince Hall Grand Lodge, and I love to have him on the show. And he's gonna break down some serious knowledge to us and share some information with us. So definitely looking forward to Brother Johan coming on, breaking off some knowledge to us out of Georgia. Definitely looking forward to that. That's going to be Tuesday's show. So unless something changes up, I will definitely keep you informed. Remember this, as always, and I will never, I'm not going to say never, but I will do my best always to let you know, whatever you do, always keep your light on, stay out the bushes, give your lodge, your jurisdiction a big shout out tonight. Just because, you don't know what tomorrow holds. All we have is this moment right here. This is all we got right now. Where you at with me on this show is all you have right now, because some of us may not make it tomorrow. It's truth, man. So love the one you with, appreciate them, give them a hug, and tell your brother, your sisters, your family members that you think about them, that you love them. And whatever you do, as we're always taught, remember your brothers and sisters as you go knee to knee, breast to breast, hand to back, and cheek to cheek, and mouth to ear. Remember that. Always remember your brother in prayer. So we're going to haul off tonight. Whatever you do, make sure you do it right. I'm out.